just want to emphasize, well, number one, just want to tell Brett, thank you for your vulnerability. It's not easy to get up and share your story. And so with that said, that gives me opportunity to give a brief part of mine, and the majority of it will be upstairs. But you're looking at a guy who used to be addicted to porn. And from 12 to 17, actually 12 to 19, hid that from my pastor father. And so the irony is about 50% of what I do is helping people get free from that. Isn't that interesting how God works? And what we want to communicate tonight is echo something that Ron said when we prayed this week. If you look up Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 16 through 18, if you could just kind of envision two hands. The issue tonight with our kids is not internet porn, it's not social media, it's not whatever else they can do online or not online. If you hear anything tonight, you hear it's this. It's what's going on inside here. And just like for me, what I was participating in was a manifestation of what was going on in my heart, that's what is going on with our kids. And so in Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 16 through 18, if you look at that, it's the idea that one hand, what I want to do is protect and defend appropriately for my children. But on the other hand, what I want to do is build and affirm. This. I want to protect their heart, and I want to build up their heart. And we're not telling you tonight, from a legalistic perspective, you go home and you do these 4 things just like we do them, and then your kids will be right. There are 3 principles, if you walk away from tonight, we would be thrilled about. And the first one is this, that you would say, I want to connect relationally with my child. Josh McDowell says, rules without relationship leads to rebellion. Mark chapter 12, verse 31 says that I have the opportunity to love my neighbor as myself. That flows out of the love that I have for God. And I had a guy who mentored me, his name was Jim Walter. He said to me, who's your nearest neighbor? And at the time, I was chasing ministry, saving the whole world but losing my family. And what I determined is my nearest neighbor was my wife and my kids. So practically, here's what we do in our house to connect relationally. My wife gets a date every week. We have a lot of kids. We're about to have more. But we do that every week. Now, I'm going to make sure you get date. Sometimes a date is we go to Brahms and spend $1.07 for her to eat an ice cream and I watch. Sometimes God in His grace lets us, do other things. But it's every week. And my kids say to me, well, it feels like you love mommy more because you take her out more. And I said, the only reason it feels that way is because that's what's true. So the first thing is, could I connect relationally with my child? But may it start with my spouse if I am married. Secondly, we want to learn how to invest spiritually in our kids. Because I'll be really honest, I mentor and disciple all the time. And this was trial and error for me. I'm not here to tell you what book to go buy. I'm not here to tell you what curriculum to start with. I'm here to say that I tried to take our wonderful discipleship curriculum and sit our children down with them. Would you like to know how well that went over? I'm like, but no, Daddy wrote this. It's really good. And so what we do with my kids from a connect relationally perspective is they get 2 dates a month with Dad. And with my wife, who stays at home, they get to do something with her like once every 6 to 8 weeks, just schedule-wise and money-wise, making that work. But every time we go on a date, we open the Word of God. Every time. Now, you got to understand, it's not an hour and a half exegesis of Leviticus. It's not. Sometimes it's 45 minutes of talking Avengers so I can have 10 minutes to talk about what God's doing in my life and what God's doing in His. Or God's doing, well, we don't do Avengers with the girls. And we have a lot of girls. But it's connect relationally and it's invest spiritually. I want y'all to listen to me. I did not know how to do that. And in humility, I say to you, I had to go to other men and say, can you teach me how to invest in my children? And you know what they did? They taught me. And so in this theme tonight of no pride, if that's you, look, we ain't got it all together. We're just one beggar leading another beggar to bread. That's it. And so if you say, I want help to invest in my kids, we want to help you do that. And how you do it may look completely different than how we do it in our home. But we want to connect here. Here. You know why I'm so passionate about what porn does to our kids? Because of what it did to me. Because of what it did to the early stages of our marriage. And I want to invest in my children in a way not to shame them if they go there, but they're willing to come talk to Dad if they do. And so tonight as we break out, Zach's about to come and explain his breakout. You're going to have two opportunities of a breakout. The last one in there is we want to, the three things I said to take away. It's connect relationally, invest spiritually, and the last one is to protect appropriately. I believe that God has called us to protect the hearts, the wellspring of life for our kids. And, you know, to Brett's point, is the internet Satan? I don't know, but there's a lot of junk on there. And what is the way that your family needs to deal with that might look different than the way our family deals with that. But here's what I'm saying. My father told me if I aim at nothing, I hit it squarely every time. So we're asking, have a plan. And if you miss the bullseye, at least you hit the board. So tonight, what we are asking, if both spouses are here, would one go upstairs to do confronting internet pornography, and would one stay down here with Zach? And that way you both are able to walk away with the same stuff. If only one parent is here, what we would say tonight is, would you go to the one that's most appropriate for your child? Just ask the Lord what that is. Before Zach comes up, here's what we're going to do upstairs. It's going to be primarily prevention, unless y'all are asking me a bunch of questions and we go right into recovery. I mean, the bottom line is God, you don't get to pick what God calls you to. And all I know is God has called me to teach guys how to prevent going here and how to recover if they have. And that's what we're going to talk about. Primarily on prevention, unless y'all just want to talk recovery.